Well, tonight we saw a very disgusting and a senseless act of political violence in this country, one that I never thought I would see in my lifetime. There have been multiple people confirmed gravely injured or killed at this rally, in addition to the shooter. We are still learning more details, but I'm very relieved to know that President Trump's okay. But absolutely heartbroken for those that have lost their lives, as well as the families and their loved ones. These are patriots that were just at this rally because they cared about our country and they wanted to support the candidate of their choice in the upcoming election. This is such an important piece of our democracy, the democratic process, what America is built on, our ability to support the candidates that we choose. But let's be clear about what this shooting is. It is an assassination attempt on President Trump. An assassination attempt was made today in the United States of America. The shooter was inches away from killing the former president and the leading candidate for president of the United States. This is domestic terrorism. It's an attack on our democracy, and it's an attack on all of our freedom. I'm very grateful for Secret Service agents who stepped up today. They put themselves in harm's way, and that footage is there for all to see how they put their lives on the line every single day to save President Trump's life and to the other rally attendees' lives. This could have been much worse without the heroic actions of the Secret Service and local law enforcement. But I'm also going to say this to those who seek to spread fear and spread hatred. Know this, you will not succeed. America has faced dark days like this before, and we will emerge stronger. Again, my heart is with all the victims. Our prayers are with President Trump and his family as he's getting checked out by doctors right now. This could have gone much differently tonight. And this needs to wake a lot of people in this country up. There's no place in America for political violence and threatening those that you don't agree with. This country was founded 248 years ago. We've been through the darkest of hours in this country's history. There are two very distinct paths that the candidates for president want to take this country down. It doesn't make each other's supporters any less American. I strongly disagree with many of our Democratic opponents. But violence in our political system cannot stand. And what we saw today is a stain on our democracy. The violence, the assassination attempt of President Trump, it's a disgusting moment in our history. And we need to turn down this rhetoric. I mean, people that are out there saying that, if President Trump's reelected, the country's doomed, that the country's going to change forever, he's going to ruin democracy. That's what leads us to moments like this. There are two very distinct paths in this country's future. And the American people are going to get the opportunity to vote because men and women have shed blood for this country, so they had the opportunity to have that freedom. We can't stand for political violence. We need to stand strong and united against political violence at all levels. It cannot be tolerated. And I think that we all need to enter a moment of prayer in this country's history and turn down the volume because we have different views, but that doesn't mean that we're not all Americans. So I'll take any questions you have at this point.
What are your concerns in calling out to the Democratic side of the aisle to keep things calm on their side too, because so many people are fearing this is just going to cause such civil controversy?
Yeah, this is very troubling. We've seen an assassination attempt in this election. We've seen many things in this election I never thought I'd see. I never thought I'd see the government weaponized against the candidate for the presidency, where they tried to take his freedom away. And clearly someone tried to take his life away today. And just by God's grace, they weren't successful. 1 inch differently, and we would be having a much different conversation right now. The President Biden, reportedly said recently that we need to put Trump in the bullseye. Words matter. Words really matter. And we saw that on that stage tonight, that words matter. That people have decided to take an attempt on President Trump's life because they're afraid he's going to be elected president. We're much time from knowing the full story as to what led to this happening. And there's a deep investigation going on right now as we speak. But this needs to be a moment of hard reset in this country. We need to all, as Americans, reject political violence, threats of violence against one another in terms of rejecting each other's political opinions. We can't have this glorious democracy if we don't respect each other's right to have political opinions and viewpoints. And the fact that President Trump's life came into question today, I think needs to be a sobering moment for all Americans, no matter what letter is next to your name on your voter registration card. This is the most serious thing that's happened in my career. I mean, the fact that we have, and I'd feel this way if any presidential candidate had an assassination attempt. I mean, we saw this in the grave impact on this country in the 60s with the loss of President Kennedy and the loss of Senator Kennedy. And there are people that I serve in Congress with that have introduced a bill recently to strip President Trump of his Secret Service protection. I mean, this is a father. This is, a family man. I mean, put your feet in his family's shoes tonight. He's trying to do what he thinks right for America. He doesn't need to be running for president. He's got a beautiful life. And that life was almost extinguished today.
What does tonight's event say about gun rights in this country and that someone could get a gun into a presidential event?
Guns don't shoot themselves. People shoot guns. And without a gun, we wouldn't have put that killer down today. The Secret Service agents used a gun to end that person's life.
But without the gun, he wouldn't have been shot. He didn't.
Oh, this is not the moment to have this debate. This is not about gun control. There's certainly a crowd out there that wants to take all guns away from Americans. But without people with guns, you can't end people that seek to kill other people. And thank God those Secret Service agents were able to put that killer down so swiftly. I mean, there's innocent people sat there and lost their life tonight. Someone behind President Trump was instantly killed with a shot to the head, by all reports so far. It could have been many more, but for the actions of the Secret Service.
What does this mean for the start of the Republican convention Monday?
I think certainly a lot more Americans are going to dial in these glorious summer days we have here in Buffalo, New York. I was spending the day with my family, trying to get a little time away from duties in the campaign trail to just spend some special moments with my family, and standing at the grill and had to run into the house because of the news to watch the footage as it unfolded. I think everyone's going to be especially dialed in. Hopefully we take this moment as a hard reset to end the over-the-top rhetoric. You may not like someone's position on an issue. You may not like somebody's a direction and a policy position that they have, but you need to respect that they have the right to have that opinion. And that's what this government's founded on. We will have full resolve. I will be heading to Milwaukee. I'm not heading there until Wednesday, but we are going to have a convention to nominate President Trump for a 4-year term as the next, what I believe will be the next president of the United States. And God willing, and by God's grace, he will be there to accept that nomination. That almost wasn't the case here today.
You said words matter and what Biden had said, but with all due respect, Trump has said some vicious things himself, and I think a lot of people are fearing this dictatorship, those type of things that have been said, those words.
Yeah, those words really do matter. I mean, people saying that he's going to end the government as we know it, he certainly did in 4 years, and he's not going to do it in the next 4. Our Constitution has stood for centuries. This is the greatest gift that God has ever given the world, the United States of America. We live in the greatest country in the world. And we have grave differences of opinion as to what direction that country needs to go in. I think we need to save this country and get it back on track for our kids and our grandkids. But the volume's got to get turned down a little bit. I mean, this dictatorship talk, you know, these discussions about how everyone's rights are going to evaporate overnight. No, they're not. These are lies. And this is what inflames situations like this. And this is what causes people to go on a roof with a rifle and try to kill a presidential candidate that they don't agree with. And we need to take this moment and all condemn political violence and use the strongest terms possible to condemn political violence against our political opponents. We are still Americans. We have to unite in certain moments. We are going to be divided into this election. There's going to be, you know, 2 groups of people in this country, and maybe even a third. But we have to take this moment very seriously as a turning point. We can't continue to carry on like that. We're vilifying, you know, candidates for higher office as people that will end the country as you know it. That's not true. It's never been true. And it's my deep hope that if anything good comes out of this, is that the temperature can get turned down, because this rhetoric has clearly led us to this moment. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.